go on.
But here's the thing. So why is it that the Eastern Orthodox and the Catholics and even the the Adventists and the Mormons, they always like to use they don't seem to like to use that description of him in Revelation. So it's as if there's, and they'll even show, like the Adventists, they'll show him coming on a horse, and you look the same as he does on earth with the brown hair, and then I'm reading what's in Revelation, and when he's on the horse, he doesn't look like that. So they're actually purposely using the wrong image.
It might be that they're some of the images are jarring in Revelation.
Yeah,
and they might not want to put them like that because they think nobody would have put the image up. I'm just being, that's a bit kind of like mundane as an explanation. But what's your thoughts?
No, I'm saying if you're going to...
And which one are you referring to, by the way? Not the one of the multiple eyes.
No, because that's...
The Lamb with the many eyes, no?
No, because you see, this is what... you see, when you think about it, this is the first thing that John saw without it being a vision. So he was on the island. Then he sees the vision, and then he sees one like the Son of Man. But then when you read it, it says,
which chapter are you in now?
No, it's just Revelation 1 and 12, and he says. And I turned to see the voice that spake with me, and being turned I saw 7 golden candlesticks, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice was as the sound of many waters. So notice, he sees this when he's actually there in the spirit, on the island. But then if you go to so and then obviously when he comes there, he then gives him the message to the 3 churches. And then when you go. Yeah, and then you see, when you go to the beginning of chapter 4, it says, after this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven. And the first voice which I heard was as if it were of a trumpet talking with me, which said, Come up hither, and I will show thee things which must be hereafter. So this is where the vision starts. So what he's seeing there on the island, that's the true representation.
Okay.
Because the vision hasn't started yet.
Okay, I take your point, but I think that well, I can't be, as I see it, as dogmatic as that to say that's not a vision still, because after all, it does say in chapter 1 again, verse 16, in his right hand he held 7 stars, from his mouth issued a sharp 2-edged sword, and his face was like the sun shining in full strength. These to me are really vivid images. Swords don't come out of people's mouths, you don't hold stars, and you don't have a face shining like the sun.
Yeah, but he's not a person. He's not human anyway.
Well, now this is the thing, you see. In his resurrection body, he appeared to Thomas and the others in the normal way, such that Thomas putting his fingers in the wounds, they were still flesh.
Yeah.
And so he knew this was the same person whom he'd seen die and whom he'd been with for 3.5 years. So if this character had appeared to Thomas, Thomas would have said, well, this is fabulous, but you're not the one I knew years ago, the one I knew for years and the one who's on the cross.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be sure, but so Jesus gave his body continuity after the resurrection for the sake of Thomas and the others. Then you get to this stage and you've got Jesus giving his appearance a different complexion for a different purpose. He wants to show aspects of the majesty of him as God the Son.
Right.
And so we see this. You see it elsewhere, I think it's Isaiah, is it 6? Or Isaiah 1, where you've got the God on the throne, and he's got all this majestic imagery given. But it doesn't mean that when we die, if we go to heaven, they will encounter God like we see him described in this book, because we will see with eyes that are somewhat improved then, and minds that are somewhat improved, to say the least.